Okay, let's dive right into this. If you're prepping for IELTS Writing Task 1, you might actually be falling for a few fatal errors. Things like relying on memorized templates or copying exact phrases. And honestly, those are silently draining your score. But hey, here's the good news. Just by identifying and avoiding these traps, you can instantly gain up to 6 marks on your exam. It's a total game changer. So in this explainer, we're going to look at exactly what examiners are searching for when they award high band scores, and how you can deliver it every single time.
First up, we need to expose the 3 most costly mistakes students make. Number 1 is memorizing content. Do not do this. Examiners are highly trained to spot memorized answers, and if they catch you, well, it can actually trigger a devastating band 0 for your entire writing module. Ouch. Mistake number 2 is copying exact phrases. While it's great to learn language patterns, blindly copying phrases creates this really awkward, unnatural writing that just screams memorized to the grader. And number 3, assuming one size fits all. Those rigid fill-in-the-blank templates, they simply don't work because every single Task 1 question is completely unique.
You know, if you've been relying on memorized templates, it's usually because of a massive myth in the IELTS community. It's this idea that you need incredibly complex vocabulary to score high. Let's just debunk that right now. After analyzing thousands of high-scoring responses, the truth is that accuracy always beats complexity. A Band 7 response, written with simple, completely accurate language, will always outscore a response stuffed with complex vocabulary that's used incorrectly. High-scoring students don't try to sound artificially smart. They just use language they fully understand. And that really builds into the ultimate golden rule: task achievement. Honestly, this is the true examiner secret. Every single high-band response directly addresses what the task asks for. There are literally no exceptions to this rule. It really doesn't matter how beautiful your grammar is. If you don't actually answer the prompt, your score is going to suffer. Your goal is clear communication and effective organization within the given constraints. So how do we guarantee we meet those constraints every single time without using those risky templates? We use a clean, repeatable system. This is our 5-step answering method: read, analyze, study, note, and examine. We're going to break down each of these steps right now. Oh, and definitely stay with me for the example at the end. It's worth 6 marks, and it's going to show you exactly how this dynamic method translates into a perfect response. Step 1. Read for understanding first. Before you even think about picking up your pencil to write, you've got to understand the data. What is the task actually asking for? Look at the command words, the axes of the graph, the categories, and the dates. You need to identify how your response is going to address each requirement of the prompt. If you rush this step, you'll likely misinterpret the data and, well, fail the task completion requirement. Now, step 2. Analyze the structure. Examiners are grading you on coherence and cohesion. When you look at high-scoring samples, you'll notice a clear organizational structure. Typically, this means a clean introduction, a distinct overview paragraph that highlights the main trends, and logically grouped body paragraphs detailing the specifics. You're aiming for a natural flow of information here, not just stuffing data into a rigid, pre-memorized box. Moving right along to step 3, study the language patterns. Instead of copying exact sentences out of textbooks, pay attention to the underlying patterns. How are upward and downward trends described? How are comparisons between 2 different categories made? Examiners are looking for your ability to deploy these accurate, authentic patterns to summarize the main features of the graph or chart. Step 4, note the vocabulary level. I really want to reiterate our golden rule here. Most words in a Band 7, 8, or 9 response are actually quite simple and accurately used. You should only use complex words when you completely understand their meaning, their spelling, and their exact context. Forcing a fancy word into a sentence where it just doesn't belong, that's a fast track to losing marks. And finally, step 5, examine the grammar. You want to look for a variety in sentence structures. Yes, you definitely want a mix of simple sentences, compound sentences, and complex sentences. But remember, accuracy comes before complexity. It is far better to write 2 perfectly accurate simple sentences than 1 long, convoluted, grammatically incorrect run-on sentence. Mastering a few reliable sentence structures is the final key to unlocking your target band.
And this brilliantly illustrates everything we've just talked about. Let's apply our 5-step method to a real exam-style example. We have a bar graph here showing the percentage growth in average property prices in 3 different countries: Algeria, China, and Argentina, between 2007 and 2010.
The task asks us to summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and making comparisons where relevant. Let's see how a high-scoring student tackled this. Notice the countries and the timeline. We're tracking changes over time here.
Okay, here's the introduction. The chart illustrates by what percentage the prices of properties increased in Algeria, China, and Argentina between 2007 and 2010. Notice how that perfectly satisfies step 1. It clearly demonstrates an understanding of the task by paraphrasing the prompt concisely. There's no unnecessary fluff, no memorized hook, just a direct, accurate paraphrase of the prompt. That is an instant checkmark for task achievement.
Next is the overview paragraph. Overall, Algeria and China experienced the largest increases in property prices. However, the percentages for Algeria fell over the period, while there was a steady rise in percentage growth in China. The numbers for Argentina fluctuated. Look at step 2 and 3 in action here. The structure is clearly defined with an overall statement, and it uses excellent, accurate language patterns. Just listen to those transition words like however and while. They perfectly summarize the main trends without getting bogged down in the specific numbers just yet. Then we get right into the specific data. In 2007, property prices in Algeria rose by just over 6%, which was by far the highest value in that year. Over the 3-year period, the percentage growth decreased to exactly 3% in 2010. China, on the other hand, had the lowest value in 2007 with only 2%, but that number rose steadily to reach nearly 6.5% in 2010. Here we see steps 4 and 5 in action. Notice how they compare the highest and lowest values accurately. The grammar is perfectly varied, and the vocabulary isn't overly complex. It's simply correct.
And the final paragraph reads, the increase in property prices in Argentina fluctuated over the period, starting off with just over 3% in 2007, peaking in 2008 at nearly 5%, then dropping to just over 1% in 2009, and finally rising again to reach about 2.3% in 2010. Now, what's really interesting about this specific paragraph is the verb choice. Fluctuated, peaking, dropping, rising. These are incredibly effective, simple, and hyper-accurate verbs that complete the task beautifully. It proves once and for all that you do not need forced complexity to get top marks.
So the crucial point is this. The 6-mark sample we just analyzed completely avoided all those fatal mistakes we discussed at the beginning. It didn't rely on memorized filler, it utilized solid language patterns rather than copied exact phrases, it adapted to the specific data using principles, not templates, and most importantly, it relentlessly prioritized accuracy over forced complexity. To make sure you can replicate this, here is your exam success checklist. Feel free to save this for your notes. First, read questions first and try to mentally plan your answer before writing. Second, practice the logical structure we outlined. Third, build your own language bank of useful phrases for trends and comparisons. Fourth, test your understanding by applying this to new graphs. And fifth, get expert feedback from qualified teachers to identify your specific blind spots.
Now, it's your turn. I challenge you to pull up a fresh Task 1 question right now and apply this exact 5-step method without looking at any sample answers. See how much cleaner and more confident your writing feels. If you want to guarantee your exam skills improve even further, be sure to check out our related explainers where we break down other IELTS topics. Ask yourself, if the difference between your current score and a Band 7 is just a few simple, accurate words, what's stopping you from mastering them today? Keep learning, stay focused, and we'll see you in the next explainer.